Hey guys, my name's Jamin. Thank you so much for visiting my YouTube channel where I try to bring you a wide variety of computer, do-it-yourself, upgrade, and repair videos. In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your internal battery in a Razer Blade gaming laptop. As always guys, please remember to like and share if this video is helpful, if you think it can help someone else, and please feel free to subscribe if you enjoy do-it-yourself computer content. For those of you who want to support the channel a little further and leave a small donation, at the end of the video, I'll show you a couple ways you can do that. Okay, so now let's get into the project. Make sure your computer's off and unplugged from your charger, and let's get into the computer. Alright guys, so I have my computer flipped over, turned off. Obviously, charger is unplugged. I have it also sitting on an anti-static pad. An anti-static pad or an anti-static bracelet, guys, is a great idea when you're going into a computer to avoid damaging anything with just bleed off static from your fingers. If you would like any suggestions on any tools or supplies like the ones I use in my shop, there'll be a link above. Also below in the description to my Amazon store, you'll see some suggestions there. On my Amazon store, there are several sections here. Repair tools is one of them. Here you can find the common hand tools that I use, along with things like anti-static mats and bracelets that help prevent you from damaging your computer. Okay, so this Razer, as most Razers, it doesn't use a Phillips or a flathead, it uses a hex driver. Your sizes may vary, just try different hex drivers. So I have 4 screws on the top, 2 on the sides, another 4 screws on the bottom. I'm gonna go around and take all those off. Keep in mind with some models, these rubber feet here, they have screws under them in some models. So if you can't get it easily off after you take off the visible screws, pry these up very gently. They're held down by double-sided tape, so you're not going to ruin anything. Pry it up gently, see if there's screws under there, or look for a teardown video on your exact model. One thing to keep in mind, guys, if you're going into any computer for any kind of repair, not all screws in a computer are the same size. So make sure if you're going into a computer to keep screws that go to certain parts together and separate from other screws. So these bottom case screws, they're not going to be the same size as your motherboard screws. Those aren't the same size as your hard drive screws, etc. So keep your screws separate. Also guys, these screws here, they're at kind of an angle. They're not straight down 90 degrees. They're at an angle pointing into the computer. So just keep that in mind when you're taking it off, and when you're putting the screws back, you don't want to strip it or ruin your threading trying to put it in at a wrong angle. Okay, so all my screws are out. I'm going to take a small flat metal pry tool, put it here on the seam, and try to gently pop that up. Okay, that came up very easily. Let's just make sure. Okay, so that came up very easily. There are no components attached to it. Very easy. I like this model. Okay, so there's the inside of your Razer. There's your battery along the bottom, there's your RAM, there's your solid state drive, your 2 fans, your heatsink assembly going over your CPU and your GPU. This is generally what you're going to be seeing here. So to get at your battery, there's a piece of tape holding it here. I'm going to take my plastic pry tool. As often as you can use plastic so as not to damage anything. I'm going to take that tape up very gently. Whenever there's tape, it's usually there for a reason, so try to save it. After the repair is done, we kind of want to put that tape back down where we got it from. But this cord that runs out of the side, here, I'll zoom in a little for you. Okay, so this battery cable runs out here, inside that fitting around there, and plugs into the motherboard here. This is a very standard plug. I'm going to take my fingernails or some plastic pry tools, put it on either side of the plug, and just pull it out of that plug. Don't pull by the wire ever. The wire can come out of the plug. We want the wire and the plug staying together, but just coming out of that. So we're gonna put a fingernail on either side, which I can't get my fingernail there, so I'm gonna pull that edge out, then I'm gonna push this edge out, then that edge out, then this edge out, kind of walk it out, little wiggle, there we go. So that takes your battery up. And that's how you would unplug your battery. There's also another piece of tape on this side of the battery. It's not plugged in here, it's just taped to another component. So you would again peel that tape up just like I just did, and your battery would come free. That's how you would replace the battery. If you're looking for a battery replacement, guys, note the voltage. This one's 15.4 volts. Notice the ohms and the amps. It says Razer. Try to get brand name if you can, guys. In my experience, only about 65% of non-brand name batteries work well. So if at all possible, get a brand name battery for your replacement. And oftentimes there'll be a part number as well. I'll have an example of that below in the description for your battery. So there you have it, guys. Again, as you can see, it's not the most involved operation in the world, but it does help to know what you're getting into when you try to go into the computer. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have any questions, check out the FAQs below in the description. If you need to leave me a question or comment, maybe something didn't look completely right with yours, please feel free to leave me a comment. I do try to check those a couple times a day at least. I look forward to seeing you on my next video. And if you did want to donate to the channel, I'll show you how to do that now. First, right below the video to the right hand side, you'll see the Super Thanks button. You can click on that. You can select a tip amount here. Second way, you can use your Cash app. Find me at $PC Helper. You can leave a dollar amount and you can even leave a little note.